¿Qué pasa to the pack? It is Pack here. Look, the playoffs are about to start and we are not getting a final roster update. Today was supposed to be the 11th roster update. It never came. So what I do at the end of the year is I go over the entire roster. I talk about the final roster. What do I think about it? Do I agree with it or disagree with it? And all that kind of stuff. If you like ratings and roster content, please join the pack and subscribe and leave a like on the video to help the videos grow. And this video is sponsored by Mobile One and Gen G because they're talking about the Tune Up giveaway. Listen, Mobile One and Gen G are looking to tune up your game by giving away a PlayStation 5, a coaching session with professional NBA 2K players, and NBA 2K VC codes. If you want to register for this tournament and compete for $2,000 in the Tune Up tournament on May 14th and May 15th, you can visit the link in the description and you can sign up for free. It is a major cool deal, and if you just like playing 2K in general and competing, you can try it out for yourself. So I suggest you go and check and compete to rise your game. And now let's get this video started with the Philadelphia 76ers final roster with Joel Embiid with a 96 overall, which makes him the second highest player in the NBA behind Giannis Antetokounmpo. Some people think he's MVP. I wouldn't be surprised if he got it, but there's other players like Jokic that probably are going to earn it. They end up with James Harden, who's a 92 overall. I think this team roster-wise should absolutely be able to win a championship. It's just going to be hard. But I think that the ratings for this team have been honestly pretty fair. For the Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis ends up as the highest rated player in the NBA. Chris Middleton ends up as the better player over Jrue Holiday. And even though Jrue Holiday was the better player for most of the season, I can see why Chris Middleton has the edge at the end of the season. And Bobby Portis has had himself a fantastic year with Brook Lopez coming back. I think this team's, honestly, their ratings are also pretty fair. I agree with most of them. The Bulls have been a little controversial though. DeMar DeRozan had an amazing season. He went very up, then he started to go down a little bit at the end. I think the Bulls have a great roster. They were just super unlucky with injuries, with Zach LaVine being out for a while. Lonzo's been out for most of the season. Alex Caruso was out for most of the time. So this team has definitely had some unfortunate situations. I think the rating that I've disagreed with is Zach LaVine. I felt that he should be as close as possible to DeMar. Maybe not the exact same rating, but at least one off. I felt that Zach LaVine should have had a +1 minimum to end the season off. Now with the Cavaliers, they've been pretty happy with this team. Darius Garland has a ridiculous 88 overall, but to be honest with you, he's deserved it, and he showed in the playing game against the Nets that he's a bucket. They may not have won that game, but Darius Garland was not the reason for that. He's been fantastic. It sucks that they've lost Jared Allen for most of the season, but hopefully he can come back if they make the playoffs. And then Evan Mobley's been fantastic, a Rookie of the Year candidate for sure. And even Kevin Love going up throughout the year because he's been fantastic. It's been a very good team, a very impressive year, and I think everyone has the ratings that I think they deserve. For the Boston Celtics, they fixed their season. They're looking so much better now. Their defense has been elite. I saw that Marcus Smart is one of the leading voters for Defensive Player of the Year. He might win it as only a 79 overall. That must be the lowest rating for a Defensive Player of the Year ever. I think Marcus Smart's rating maybe should go up if he's that good of a defender. My personal opinion. And Jason Tatum's been fantastic in the 90 overall club where he's deserved. We have the Clippers now with Paul George coming back and Norman Powell. I still feel that Reggie Jackson has a very low rating, and I still felt that he should have been a 79 with Marcus Morris. But besides that, the ratings have been pretty good to me. For the Grizzlies, I mean, what else can you say about Ja Morant? Some people feel that this rating is too high for Ja. You can feel that way. I disagree. I think Ja Morant has earned this rating. I think that Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr. are tied with the rating. I think statistically that's correct, but I think that Jaren Jackson Jr. is definitely the second best player talent-wise. It's just that Bane has had such a good season. It's hard to deny that. For the Atlanta Hawks, honestly, there's no complaints with this team. I think this has been pretty accurate all year. I have no gripes. With the Miami Heat, definitely a weird one. Jimmy Butler's had a very weird season. I think his rating is still too high. He's had so many inconsistent games. I'm not saying a 90, but maybe like a 91. I think he should have gone down a little bit. I think Tyler Hero's been fantastic. I think he was the leading scorer for most of the season, so I think maybe even a +1 for him would have been pretty good. Besides that, Omer Yurtseven ends up as the 5th best player on the Heat, which nobody would have predicted. And I think Oladipo's rating went down, but it should go up because we've been playing better lately. For the Hornets, no complaints. I think this is the ratings I expected of everybody. I did feel like Miles Bridges should have been the best player for most of the season rating-wise, but I think LaMelo Ball definitely has earned that, to be honest. For the Jazz, man, such a weird team. I still think they're good. I think they're getting older. Like Bojan's getting older, Mike Conley's getting older, so they're not putting up the numbers that like they're supposed to. Rudy Gobert's not a scorer, so like they struggle offensively at times. Donovan Mitchell has to like carry the team offensively. They're a very weird team, but I still think that the ratings are pretty accurate. For the Kings, De'Aaron Fox being under Sabonis has been wrong because De'Aaron Fox has been the best player ever since the trade. So that's my only disagreement with this team. With the Knicks, pretty much, it'd be crazy to think that Derrick Rose has a higher rating than Julius Randle, but Derrick Rose hasn't played most of the season. Julius Randle had a crazy drop off, but I think this is a very accurate team as well. Maybe Emmanuel quickly could have gone up because he's been so good, but besides that, yeah. Lakers, man, I mean, look how hard Westbrook fell. That's crazy, man. No one would have expected Westbrook to go this low of a rating, but you know, it's just that this team was injured and was just not built correctly for LeBron, and that's why they struggled for real. And Anthony Davis being injured, right? The Magic, not much to say about them. It's a lottery year, and Wendell Carter Jr. has been great. That's really all there is to say. For the Mavericks, I think Luka Doncic has been fantastic. I think the rest of this team has not been very good. Even though Jalen Brunson and Spencer Dinwiddie should help Luka in the playoffs, they're going to need more if they ever want to win a championship with Luka Doncic. Now, with the Brooklyn Nets, I mean, looking at this roster now, it is insanity. KD 96, Kyrie 92, Ben Simmons 84, Drummond 81. Assuming everyone's going to play, this is a very stacked roster and scary. The Nuggets, here you're going to see why Jokic is probably MVP. Jokic has been fantastic at 96 overall, and you look at the rest of the roster, it's not even comparable to him. I mean, no one is even close to Jokic, and he's carried this team to the 6th seed. For the Pacers, it's kind of a rebuild year. I mean, TJ Warren hasn't come back, but like, Tyrese Halliburton and Malcolm Brogdon are now tied for the best player, and this is definitely going to be a rebuilding time for them. For the Pelicans, we just saw them play again how scary they are. CJ McCollum is a bucket, Brandon Ingram is a bucket, Valanciunas has had a career year, and then whenever they get Zion back, this team is going to be terrifying. With Herb Jones being a defensive presence, this team is going to be very, very good, very fast. For the Pistons, Cade Cunningham ends up as the best player, which is what was supposed to happen. I mean, this is, one of the highest picks in the draft. He should be the best player on a bad team, right? The Raptors, Scotty Barnes is looking like Rookie of the Year, even though I think Mobley maybe deserves it more, maybe. Arguably, you could maybe debate that in the comments. I think this team has figured themselves out. I think Pascal Siakam has finally arisen to the role of best player on the Raptors. It's taken him a little bit. When Kawhi was there, he was a second option. And then when he left, Kyrie was kind of carrying compared to Pascal. But now I think for the first time, and they figured it out throughout the year, that Siakam is the bucket getter, and it's turning out well for them. For the Rockets, not much to say. Christian Wood had a good season. Jalen Green stepped up throughout the year. That's really all there is to say. For the Spurs, DeJounte Murray, 87 overall, has had one of the greatest statistical seasons ever. Only him and Michael Jordan have had a season with, it was like 27 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists ever, and 2 steals ever. It's him and Michael Jordan. So he's had an amazing season. It sucks that they ended the way that it did, but I mean, they're looking good for the future with Keldon Johnson being solid, Jakob having a way better season this year. It's looking good. The Phoenix Suns end the season with Devin Booker as the best player on the team, which has been the correct thing because he has been the best player for the past 2 years. Chris Paul's awesome. He's one of the best players. He's the second best player on this team, but Devin Booker is the leading player, and it's finally being shown that way with the ratings. But with OKC, SGA had an amazing season. Giddey looks solid. Lou Dort's going to be better. Besides that, not much to say. With the Timberwolves, apparently Patrick Beverley is a 99 overall and thinks he won an NBA championship. But out of all seriousness, Cat should have been a 90 overall this season. Even though he struggled in the playing game, we know how good he is, and he is the best player on the team by far. And I think Anthony Edwards should definitely go up as well. For the Blazers, Dame was injured all season. If Dame wasn't injured, maybe they could have slid into the playing game, but we'll never know. I didn't realize my camera cut off, boys, my bad. But with the Golden State Warriors, we have Curry carrying this team pretty hard. It was riddled with injuries, but I think this is a very deep team, and they're going to actually have a pretty good playoffs. With Klay coming back, Andrew Wiggins having a solid season. I mean, all-star starter, apparently. Draymond Green being himself. Jordan Poole's been a bucket. And then on top of that, Kuminga's been showing up. Gary Payton's been showing up. It's been a good season for them. So, very exciting. And then finally, the Wizards, now with Bradley Beal and Porzingis, who haven't been able to play together. This should be an exciting team for next season. And Kuzma, who's actually been solid for them, to be honest. They should definitely be a playing team next season if they play well. So that is the final roster of NBA 2K22. Do you agree with 2K's ratings? Leave it in the comments below. And if you like the channel, please give it a sub. I'll see you guys next year if you only watch for roster updates. See you guys next time.